Hello hunters, I hope you are enjoying Monster Hunter Wilds. So about this video, back in World and Iceborne, it was very hard to find info about environmental traps, so I had to look for them by myself on the field. So when the Wilds came out, I said to myself that one of the first things I'm going to do is going to be a video about environmental traps and other hazards. The traps are arranged by type, and at the end of the video I have the traps that work only for specific monsters, like Uth Duna and dahaad. So for your convenience, you will notice sometimes at the top right corner of your screen pictures of the map of the respective trap type. So let's go on with the show. The giant sandpit. I call it the Balahara trap. Very situational, and the reason for that is because it is not always on the map, even if there are Balaharas on the map. Just lure monsters in, and the monsters will trigger it, dealing 2 instances of damage. One at the top, a respectable one, and one tiny below. Don't worry, you don't take damage, just drop below, where you will see first the Balahara. You can hit it to trigger a turf war with your target, which by the way it will be stunned briefly once it drops with a tiny small of damage. And that's it about this trap. Very tiny damage numbers, as you can see. Now, a key point. If you check on your map, you will see that sometimes there is an upsurge, and that upsurge can also apply to environmental traps, you see here. Another key point are monster drops. These, compared to World and Iceborne, are quite good and can topple monsters, so don't sleep on these. Well, they don't always topple them, but still, yeah, you get the picture. Just use them. Now, if you go to the ruins of area, you will notice areas with white lines on the ground. These are called Wyvern milk puddles, and if hit by specific monster attacks, they will create these white coral thingies that are called Wylk crystals. If you hit them with an elemental pod, like the torch pod, they will cause an elemental explosion of the element of the pod. So a torch pod will cause fire damage, for example, and at least better you than the monster. Anyways, you can also get hit by your own attacks, so beware of blights. Key point, if you don't have a pod, you better destroy them. A normal attack will do, but you know, it's always a nice feeling of satisfaction to have a monster topple with this. Very nice damage. And Rathalos here serves you right. Sleep toads, paratoads, nitrotoads, flashbugs. Who doesn't know these guys raise a leg? Lure the master in and interact with them, and you know, they are all over the place. Now, it was very interesting to see great Thunderbugs. As always, use them accordingly, and honestly, I didn't expect the full combo of a great sword to hit here, but it was very satisfying. That true charge slash. Wow. Well, quest ended, no rewards, just pure satisfaction. Moving on to the next type, we have lumps of Blastcoat and lumps of Wyrmsbane. You just grab them and throw them, and this will roll a small distance and explode, dealing damage. Use this for fun unless you become an expert. The way these things roll is kinda weird and short, and you can also get hit by them, and especially that dragon blight. It sucks actually. And here you can see why. Next up we have vine traps. Now look at this. One of the main reasons the game feels easy is because the smaller monsters are completely stupid and stand below vine traps. Okay, I get it. They are animals. They are not supposed to be very bright, right? Or what? Some animals are actually smarter than many humans in real life anyway. Enough of that. You will notice with this type of trap that the monster will push upward, and that makes the sweet spots very high and you can't hit them easily. If you check my solo dual blade hands, you will see that I always have poor damage in these traps. But for greatswords, lances and generally weapons that can hit high enough, you are good. You'll get the occasional tail cut here, and also they are good for triggering Agitator. Yeah, nice tail cut there. A nice little extra near vine traps are the dark hornet nests. Well, they are not always near vine trap, but they can be in other spots also. Hit them with your slinger and these hornets will rush to your target, usually, and poison it. Damage is small though, but you can use it to trigger that armor skill. I think it's called Foray. A reminder, at the top right of the screen, you will see maps of the location of various hornet nests. I hope you enjoyed the video so far, so please leave a like and subscribe. Next up we have falling boulders, entangled rocks, grounding pillars, stalactites and anything I forgot. These things drop directly down. They deal very nice damage, but are somewhat hard to have them hit fast targets. So don't worry if you miss it, even experts fail and you just need to deal more weapon damage. As a side note, if you've never done this, try to mimic my moves. I don't want to hand feed you everything, so you will use it by yourself and cultivate the skills and make them your property, if you know what I mean. By the way, did you know that one of these traps in the desert you can also trigger it from above? I don't know how you are going to use it, but good to know, right? You can see it on the video. I have it right after the falling grounding pillars. Right here. Trigger it. And that's it. Next is lava vent. There are, I think, 3 spots on the map. These were very good in World and Iceborne, but in Wilds for now they are slightly worse for various reasons. Mainly there are not a lot of targets. They vent every 2 minutes and you just have to make the master stand there. Next we have the Ancient Forge. It works like the Dragonator in past titles, but you use your slinger to reach the level and activate at the right time. It has this big spiked platform that hits like a truck in 2 opposite directions. Right? Slinger, activate, and there you have it. Right, now, next one is a very interesting area. It is a trap that has debris falling sideways. Carefully, you can also get hit by the debris and make you trip. These are called sharp crystal pillars. You need some luck and skill to make them hit, but they are great, very nice damage. Note this area, we will come back later here. You can also trigger it from below here. There. And I'm pretty sure that it hit it. I can tell by the way it moans and writhes in pain. For some reason, I could not climb up like my feline friend, so I called my chocobo. Yeah, stuff like that happen. Yeah. And while we talk about collapsing debris, the next one is the most situational of all. It just happened by luck. I knew the location, but I could not interact with the trap, so I didn't know how to use it. And in one of my hunts, a Rathalos came here and started jumping around like a god. I think it is called the Ancient Ruins, or it is something like that. Anyway, you will find it on the map. Just take a close look at how Rathalos starts jumping here and triggers the trap and damages himself. Unstable grounds. If you remember, we are back at the sharp crystal pillars area. Here you lure the monster and let it do an attack, and the ground will collapse, giving us an opportunity for damage. Note these spikes, they can deal more damage once the monster gets on its feet and start charging at you. And another one here. This actually makes the desert the best area to fight Argveld and of course Raidau. There are spikes here too, if you are wondering, as you can see. Also there is another area with this type of trap. It does not have spikes, but it is a collapsing ground. So let's go there. As you can see, a small monster needs a lot of attacks to trigger it. I think he made 2 or 3 attacks that made the ground collapse. But larger monsters don't have that type of problem. With one attack they can drop down. You can also drop down. You should actually drop down, because there are no spikes here.
It was at this moment he knew he messed up.
Just an attack of opportunity. And here is how I found out about this trap. It was very weird. I actually thought that it was the flash that made the Argveld drop down or disappear. Anyway, just drop down. Our next trap is called the Floating Rumble. First I will show you the wrong way to use it. And yeah, you need to be in line with the monster between you and the rumble. Use the slinger and wait to activate it at the right time. Next up is the Dam Rumble. It is a non-automatic activation trap, like Floating Rumble and Ancient Forge. Very useful because you can hit a Rathalos. Not sure if it can hit Rathalos when he flies around, but it sure does come in this area, this monster. Now we are moving on to the traps that are targeting exclusively specific monsters. Here I'm showing you Loch ruins. First, the wrong way. It is very painful because Uth Duna will deal massive damage if you fail to hit and then fail to evade.
It was at this moment you knew you messed up.
Now I'm going to show you the right way to use it. Just fire your hook and wait for the right time to activate. There are 2 of these in this area. And there is also another one with a different name, but similar type, in another area. Very situational, the other one, because I only saw Uth Duna there once. So you must be at the right spot at the right time for it to work. Next up is a Balahara exclusive trap. The area is where it will retreat through sleep and heal. Interact with it to create an opportunity. This is the way to go. And smack away. Moving to the last portion of the video. These are traps exclusive to dahaad. First, the Crumbling Ice wall. I think it is in the third area of the fight. A non-automatic one, as you will see in the video. Activate at the right time to deal massive damage. Moving to the second area of the fight, there are a couple of brittle ice pillars that you can drop down to deal damage, right here. And if we go back again to the third area of the fight, there are these giant frozen pillars, similar to the one in the Balahara retreat area. But these you can activate them after the monster breathes ice 4 times. You will have it available after that. All of the above deal nice damage, but there are more giant ice chunks around in the third and fourth area of the fight. These deal much smaller damage, and I advise you to not use them. The reason for this is because the dragon will be able to destroy the hiding spots when he uses his ultimate attack. So you use them right like that to create a nice hiding spot and evade a feint. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. So please like and subscribe, and see you all the next time. Enjoy the game and don't rush it.